This story starts beside a vending machine at the hospital with a mug with a chipped handle, but the sad part is what everyone assumed first. This did not start with yelling. It started with a mug with a chipped handle beside a vending machine at the hospital, a quiet room, and the church pianist pretending they were fine. I watched the church pianist choose silence 3 separate times. Each time, the silence looked less like stubbornness and more like protection. The part that broke everyone was not the object. It was hearing that it was kept for a parent who might come back ashamed and need a sign. Suddenly, a mug with a chipped handle had a before, an after, and a reason. After that, we copied it, saved it, and let the original stay where their hands expected it. The apology came quietly, which was probably the only way it could arrive without making things worse. Sometimes the twist is not what happened. Sometimes it is realizing who you were before you knew. What made it sad was not that people were confused at first. Confusion happens. The sad part was how quickly confusion turned into jokes, and how long the church pianist had to stand there while the jokes gathered weight. I think people argue about stories like this because everyone has their own hidden object somewhere. It might not look like a mug with a chipped handle, but it has the same job. Hold the memory quietly when the person cannot say the whole story out loud. The truth did not make anybody a villain forever, but it did make the room responsible. Once you understand the wound, you do not get to keep poking it and pretend you are only being honest. That is the reason the reveal works. The object never changes. What changes is the viewer. You start by seeing clutter, and by the end you understand why the church pianist needed it exactly where it was. If I were cutting this into a lesson, I would say the smallest clue was the entire story. They moved everything else in the room except that one thing. That one detail told the truth before anyone was brave enough to say it. The apology mattered, but the behavior after mattered more. People can say sorry because the room expects it. They prove it later when the object comes up again and they choose gentleness first. If you were there, would you forgive the people who laughed before they understood? Comment church with your answer, like if the title made sense only at the end, and subscribe for another sad one with a different kind of apology.